What's going on, YouTube? It's boy, AphroditesCrush back with you guys once again here. And I'm just going to do a little bit of overview today on the Apple event that we had today. Um, First things first, the iPhone 5 as you know it is no more. Come September the 20th, the iPhone 5 as a standard will be finito. That's it. Your older iPhone 5s are now basically collector's items. Thank you for coming to the party. In its place will be not one but two different models. You have the iPhone 5S and the iPhone 5C. Now, looking at the actual differences here, go ahead and just pull my info back up. Obviously, the 5C is going to be the cheaper or the color version of the iPhone 5. It's pretty much it's really just a cheaper made iPhone 5. Um, there's not a lot of real differences in between the models. There's just not a whole lot. It's not anything unexpected, I guess would be the word. Um, just not an extreme amount of difference as far as the actual model is concerned. Now, me working in the electronics sector, I guess, um, I am going to see some people who are like, no, I'm gonna go grab that iPhone 5, the original. As man, I'm eligible for my upgrade. Might as well go get it now. Boom, now. I don't want to have to deal with all this new stuff. Blah blah blah. So, actually looking at the article from CNET right now. See, basically it's a plastic bag. Let's see. The front FaceTime camera is improved and slightly larger battery. Same A6 processor, 8 megapixel camera, 3x video zoom in, blah blah blah. Oh boy, you can go do LTE in other markets. Just, just, mm, yeah. That's it. That's the actual the bump, which I honestly wasn't expecting even much of a bump on that. Like I said, people are just going to go ahead. Uh, Depending on where you go, there's going to be iPhone 5s for $98 right now. Some people are just going to not be completely drawn to the color scheme. I want white or I want black. That'll be what some people's initial thing is. I don't want yellow and blue and dude, it's just not extreme to them. Okay. Now, the 5S, on the other hand, is basically your standard Apple upgrade over the previous model. No 5-inch screen, no extremely huge phone. You had to know this was coming. Apple has a pattern that they follow, and if you thought they were going to deviate from the pattern as it pertains to model bump, you're kind of fooling yourself. Now, the one thing that I honestly thought was not even close to being a reality and ended up being a reality was the fingerprint scanner. Once again, quoting the CNET article here, it's called the Touch ID sensor, which, come up with a better name, please. Scans subepidermal skin layers, 360-degree readability, so you can hold your iPhone upside down and use it. Can actually double as your security key instead of a 4-key password. Yay. You can also purchase apps and other iTunes content. Fingerprint information is never available to other apps, nor will it be stored in the cloud. That's a good thing. As for guest profiles, you can store details for multiple fingers, yours and someone else's. I like that for two reasons. First off, I'm married. Most married guys that say you're doing something, like say you're fixing your car, and your wife is like, "Oh, Jim Bob's calling. He wants to know if you want to hang out later for beers." My hands are sticky. They got oil. If I'm doing something that involves a copious amount of getting your hands dirty, whether it be cleaning, blah, blah, blah. I've got gloves on. I don't have to take off my gloves. There you go. Fantastic. Number two reason this is a good idea. Children. Oh, little Johnny wants to play with my iPhone. Well, I want to make sure that, if I want my little Johnny playing Candy Crush, he's not going to spend $65 on extra levels. If they can, they probably already thought of this, but if they can make sure that a small child can make extreme amounts of purchases on your phone, you're good to go. It's a good thing. And now the iPhone cases. I like Apple's attempt. Not the biggest fan. I mean, leave the case making to the case makers. Let me go out, buy a Spec, buy an Incipio, buy a Griffin, buy just any. And I like the attempt. I like the attempt. It's just everyone knows I'm an Apple guy, but just moving on. Now, like I said, the 5S same size, pretty much same look of the 5. You had to know it was coming. Like I said, the big thing about the 5S, and I think this is a fantastic thing that Apple is doing, 64-bit chip in a mobile phone. No other Apple phone, no Android phone, no Windows phone, no Palm phone, no BlackBerry, no regular phone, no feature phone. There's no phone on the market that will be coming out that has a 64-bit chip. It's going to be an affordable 64-bit chip in a phone. They're raising the bar on the type of hardware that you got to put into your phones. You can have a processor, a dual-core processor that does all these fantastic things, blah, 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 but the actual bumping up the processor ability is, Apple is noticing that a lot of people are using these for their primary gaming, and I really don't agree with that, but you do have to see where Apple's going by using this as your primary gaming console. And also, it extends the ability to make better apps. When you're making, just for instance, I just bought, it was free. I just bought the Jarvis app on iTunes. Go ahead and pull it up here.
Good evening, sir. It is Tuesday, September 10th. The temperature is now 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Today's weather readings indicate clear skies. Perhaps a good day to take on a challenge. Possibly the altitude record for fixed-wing flight.
Now, this is a fantastic app. It replaces Siri. I like Siri, but I'll use Jarvis more. Partly because I'm an Iron Man fan. But these types of tie-in apps and other types of apps that are going to be becoming available with a better graphical capability, they'll be able to integrate more and more content into the apps. Of course, they're going to be larger in size. Took me almost 5 to 10 minutes to download this particular app just for that. But when you look at big picture, great things on the horizon. Um, I do believe that Apple will have to start making higher gigabyte phones, and of course we'll end up paying more for them. But okay, so that the the grand scope of how Apple is viewing apps and viewing the phones and viewing the content that comes on that is very much something that is being debated. Some people believe that a smartphone will only take you so far. Some people believe that a smartphone could be your all-in-one use. And Apple sees that there are people out there who believe that. So that is a very good thing that Apple is forward thinking and doing more than what most people would think that they want to do. Um, Once again, quoting the CNN article, the A7 processor promises to power the iPhone 5S with 56 times the graphics performance of the very first iPhone and about 40 times the CPU. Now, the OpenGL ES 3.0, once again, performance, and also including the M7 motion coprocessor. Um, just having something else to kind of take the load off the processor just makes that processor bump even better. Battery life, not a big difference. You only get like a 2-hour bump. That's 10 hours of talk time over 3G, 10 hours of 4G browsing, and 10 hours of video. Full day longer on the standby mode, which is 10.4 days. Everyone's all tweaking out over the iPhone 5S not having NFC. Once again, this is just a bump. This is not a major overhaul. Probably with the 6, you might see the NFC technology get integrated, but to be truthful and be honest, for the average everyday person, I work in retail. I have not seen one person ask about NFC technology. Matter of fact, I sold a phone to a gentleman about 4 months ago. I was trying to explain the NFC technology to him, and he's like, "What?" Apple knows that even though it's a growing sector of consumers, it's still not large. It's not large enough to necessitate a separate feature being built into the phone. Maybe on the next iteration. Another one of the big bumps that you're going to see is the camera. Uh, the the lens has been improved. Basically, better lighting for pictures. Secondary LED, 10 frames per second for the burst mode. 28 megapixel panorama. Whoa. Just whoa. uh, what else? The 5S also has the 1080p HD camera. Also does 120 frames per second for slow motion video. Really? And if I'm not mistaken as well, I believe I read some sort of article about their about announcing that the iWork app is going to be available with the 5S, and I'm just like, huh? Wow, it's fantastic to me, but just wow, was oh my goodness, that in and of itself, you're just kind of sitting there like just if that's true, it really does up the ante for what you can do mobile, especially when you have more and more people shooting video using this. I don't know if you noticed, but there was a couple videos about a month back that I was shooting using the front-facing camera on my 4S, and the move towards people using their cell phones for And some people actually use these for professional photography. I've actually heard of people purchasing an iPod Touch, or like buying an iPhone and just strictly having it for photography and for other uses. Like, there's a couple of accessories that are available for the iPad and the iPhone that work with people who work in not just music but podcasts. I've been looking into using another Apple device for my podcasts because it just makes it a lot easier. I don't have to have the mixer, and I don't have to have everything set up here on the computer and all that. And having that ability to just download the app straight from Apple, straight to my iPhone or my iPod Touch, should that offer be extended, if that offer actually exists, which that's just a rumor right now, I believe. That's just fantastic, isn't it? That's like $100 and some worth of applications that you get free. So, um, and of course, iOS 7. I mean, everyone's kind of talking about that. The look is a lot different. I'm not 100% really on board with that myself, but I wasn't really on board with a lot of things that I'm on board with now as far as Apple goes. Um, I wasn't a a large fan of the operating system iOS as a whole when I first started investigating and looking into buying an iPhone. And I found later on, I'm like, wow, this is a product that I didn't expect to like. And I'm going to give Apple that benefit of the doubt that when I walk into and I download iOS 7, it's going to be that kind of wow factor again. So I can't really make an informed judgment on that until I actually kind of get the bounce and get it downloaded, which 8 days away, and of course 10 days away until you see the new iPhones. So, but that's going to pretty much wrap it up here. If you like the Apple presentation, you like the new phones, like the new features, nope, hit me up with a response straight down below. But check me out on Twitter, everybody, AphroditesCrush, and also check me out on Facebook, AphroditesCrush Entertainment. I will see you all next time. Peace out.